All right, so I'm going to go on a little rant here because I've been thinking about revelations and end times and stuff like that. And it wouldn't surprise me if God allowed man and all of technology to be the fire from heaven type of thing. But I just want to consider this because I have been thinking about this as a presidential candidate of the United States. Nuclear war and assured destruction. We all don't blow each other up because we would blow everybody up. And the nuclear fallout would be irreparable, so we don't do it. Not because of the nuclear fallout per se, but because we'll all die. Like once you're dead, you don't care if there's nuclear fallout. We don't want to die. We would all be destroyed, so we don't do it. Especially because of nuclear fallout, we would all be destroyed. So, I have a proposal, and that is, and I've done this math basically off of what Elon Musk says he's wanting to be able to take to Mars, which is ultimately he wants to be able to produce one super heavy per day, so 365 a year. And then he wants to be able to put them up in the air 24 hours a day, 1 hour at a time. And then I did some other math. I can't remember what it was, but it came out to be in him having somewhere around within 7 years. Because I was thinking if he started manufacturing these at that rate for 7 years without an increase of efficiency, if he did that at the beginning of the peace treaty, could they be used for this purpose I'm going to talk about? So that would equal somewhere around 2,600 super heavy spaceships that can take payloads up into space. All I was requiring is 100 miles. That's it. Just 100 miles up, the lowest low Earth orbit there is. So I was asking AI to do some calculations with me. And here is what blew my mind. If Elon Musk reaches his goals of being able to take 250 tons once per hour, 24 hours a day. If you dropped one 250-ton ball cube mass of iron, the most readily available, cheapest to get and reload from Mars, raw iron to take up to the planet or into space. If, say, that ship blew up in space before it got there, and that maximum payload of 250 tons hit the ground, it would completely destroy an area at least 1.5 miles square. Could be more. That, according to record, is like Hiroshima. So then I asked AI, what are the largest cities in the world? Like mega cities. What is their population? And how many of them is there? It said that there is 40 to 45 mega cities that have over 10 million people. And the average footprint of the urban area is 1,500 square miles. So 1.5 square miles, 1,500 square miles. Pretty easy math. So I asked it because I didn't want to pull out my calculator. With 2,600 spaceships, 250 tons, metric tons, 24 hours a day, I believe it said 60,000 trips. Does that sound crazy? 60,000 trips. Somewhere around there. 50 to 60,000 trips a day. So if we replace all of our nuclear weapons with kinetic mass weapons, we can do the same damage. Like, for instance, we have 5,000 nukes right now. We could have 5,000 super heavy Starlink starships, whatever they're called, with a kinetic mass on it. And if somebody else who wants to keep nuclear, if we think that they shoot nuclear at us, one, we can try to take it down. Two, if it came down to pushing the button per se, to where everybody was pushing the button, or let's say super intelligence decided it would be better if it targeted all the mass cities where the most crime and wickedness and violence was, and take out the majority of humanity to eradicate the majority of violence and crime and wickedness. And so it set off with robots 2,500, 5,000 of these things into the air and dropped them on all the major cities. It could destroy every major city in the world with a population of 500,000 or more in under a day. And then it's just rubble cleanup. Yes, if you hit a farm, for instance, it's going to obliterate the land with a big old hole in the ground. And things like that are going to be damaged in the immediate area. But no nuclear radiation. Meaning, if the world was going to annihilate itself, if we could get everybody to agree, these are nuclear-sized payloads in destruction, but not in operation. We get everybody to agree to get rid of their nukes, stop making nuclear weapons, only make nuclear energy. And we can be the first ones to do it. You can keep your nuclear bombs. Let's arm America with 5,000 super heavy rockets that can load payloads into the sky and drop them precisely where we want them. We could even put little rockets and a GPS on it, so it just drops it out. Imagine like a giant food, what's that game where you play with the net and the little birdie? That type of design, released, boom, it guides itself down, pinpoint accuracy. You can't shoot that mass out of the sky. It's 250 tons of iron. Once it's released and is falling and directed, it's going to hit something. You can't blow it up. You can't change its trajectory. Well, maybe you could with our little, but overall, it's just going to be small adjustments to get it going right, because after then, momentum kicks in, it's coming, and it's going to hit its terminal velocity, and boom, there you go. My proposal is that for the sake of humanity and the earth, even though I don't believe we may ever get to this point, but let's say that we are going to get to this point. Let's replace our nuclear with kinetic weapons of mass destruction, so that it has the same deterrence, because it's the same amount of destruction. So we're not, if you shoot all yours at me, I'm going to shoot all mine at you. We're both going to die. Boom. Okay. Now, my country is going to be destroyed with nuclear radiation. Your country is going to be destroyed and rebuildable because of mercy. I don't want to destroy people that way. I don't even want to push these buttons. But if it ever happened, right? The point is, we cannot adjust the variable of the institutions or the people and the level of morality, including AI, the level of morality and decision that it makes. But let's assume that one day superintelligence is going to take over the world and is going to try to eradicate people systematically with the greatest weapon that we have. If that weapon is nuclear, that's what it's going to use. If a wicked, evil person with no morality says, let's push the buttons and let's let it fly. I don't want that to be the nuclear option. So if we remove the nuclear option through agreement and we replace it with mass destruction, which is so ironic to me, weapons of mass destruction, then I think if the greatest immoral choice is better than the greatest immoral choice that we have now, if we can replace it with a less immoral choice, knowing is somewhere along the line somebody is going to make that decision. We have done everything we can to keep those buttons from being pushed. But I propose that since it creates the same amount of destruction, which would be mutual, I propose that we switch it. One, we don't have to mine all this crazy stuff. We don't have to deal with radiation for the purpose of hurting people. We can deal with radiation for the purpose of solving energy. Put all of our nuclear resources into that because we don't need to worry about it. Because I'm not afraid of your nuclear missiles, because I can drop 10 pieces of metal from the sky and destroy your entire city. Or I can drop 5,000 of them into your country with no nuclear effects and absolutely obliterate you, which is the same deterrence as the nuclear. You don't shoot your nuclear, because I've got them too. And if I think I'm going to die, we're pushing the button in defense. That's the same deterrence, but in the hands of the uncontrolled variable. My argument is nuclear, the most immoral option we could choose, is much worse than weapons of mass destruction.